When it comes to writing villains, one of the biggest questions out there is how strong should your villain be? More specifically, how powerful should that villain be in relation to the hero they're opposing? Today I'm going to answer those questions for you, and I'm also going to give you the secret to keeping your audience invested in the hero-villain struggle. What's up, guys? My name is Brandon McNulty. I'm a writer, and welcome to my writing channel. Today I want to touch on the subject of how powerful a villain should be, and the short answer to that is that the villain should always be more powerful than the hero. End of story. There's just no way around it. If you have a hero who is more powerful than the villain, you're doing it wrong. You need to start over, and you need to find a villain who outmatches and overwhelms that hero. And it could be a villain who is more powerful in the sense of physical strength, or it could be intelligence, or they could simply have more resources than the hero. When it comes to the idea of villains who are more physically powerful than the heroes, think about the Rocky movies. Think about Rocky Balboa being this club fighter in Philadelphia. He's not much of a big deal in his own city, and yet he has to go up against the heavyweight champion of the world. And because there's just such a huge divide in terms of their power, their strength, their quality, their skill, all those different things, that's why that movie was so powerful, because you had the underdog going up against the impossible task of fighting the heavyweight champion. Now, if you want an example of a villain who's more intelligent, more cunning than the hero, look at The Dark Knight. Look at where Batman early on in the movie is having his way with Gotham City. He has no problem tracking down criminals, catching them, whatever he needs to do. Then the Joker comes along. He uses Batman's weaknesses and his strengths against him, and this is what causes Batman to struggle, to just be mentally just worn out over the course of the story, because the Joker is just out-strategizing him, he's outmatching him at every turn. This is why that movie was so popular, because the Joker posed such a threat to Batman, and he broke him in a way that other villains and other common criminals could not. Now, as for a villain who has more resources, more power, look at the Hunger Games. We have the hero-villain dynamic of Katniss, who is this hunter girl in her own district in this post-apocalyptic world, going against President Snow, who has all these resources at his disposal, all the power. He can rig the Hunger Games, he can do whatever he wants, and Katniss has to use her wits and her group of friends, her group of allies, to overcome this impossible task of defeating the world leader. And then if you want an example of a character who is just totally outmatched by her villain, look at the first Terminator movie. Sarah Connor in that movie, she's just a waitress. All of a sudden she's got this machine from the future sent to kill her. She has to overcome the impossible task of not only escaping, but somehow defeating this seemingly invincible machine that's coming after her. Whenever you are writing villains, remember that it helps to have that villain just be a little stronger than the hero, but it helps a lot more if that villain is an impossible opponent. Now, this might sound like obvious advice, but there are a lot of writers out there who are afraid to make their villains as powerful as possible. Some writers simply don't want to put their heroes in danger, while others just don't think that their heroes are clever enough to solve whatever problems the villains throw at them. Even professional writers like Stephen King screw this up from time to time. For instance, in his book Dr. Sleep, the heroes are more powerful than the villains, and as a result, whenever there's a confrontation between them, the tension just isn't there and the stakes aren't there. And I don't know how the movie is going to be. It comes out in a couple weeks, but I'm hoping that the screenwriters address this and they make the villains be more of a challenge for the heroes. Earlier in the video, I mentioned that I was going to give you the secret to keeping your audience invested in the hero-villain struggle. And the way to do this is you want to plant a question in the reader's mind, and you want to keep it there throughout the story. You want the reader to keep asking themselves this particular question: how can this hero possibly overcome this impossible villain? And basically what I mean there is you want the villain to always seem like an impossible task to overcome, but you always want that hero to have the possibility of overcoming it. And when it comes to gaining that possibility over the course of the story, yes, you want your hero to gain more skills, gain some allies, maybe get a secret weapon, but if you ever during the course of the story have a hero gain some kind of advantage over the villain where it looks like the hero is going to win, you have to take it away. You have to make sure that throughout the course of the story, until the very end, until the climactic moment, you have to make sure that the villain is an impossible task for the hero, an impossible challenge. And if you do that, you will keep your readers glued to the page, and they will be flipping pages like crazy until they get to the end of your book. So I hope this helps. Question of the day: who is your favorite villain, and how are they more powerful than the hero they oppose? let me know in the comments section below. Thanks for watching, guys. Be sure to check out my other videos, hit that like and subscribe button for me, and remember to keep on writing.